God is the kid. God is the kid.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all know what time it is, man. It's Wickmate 912 back in y'all area. This is Earz to the Streetz. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Let me turn down my music a little bit. How y'all doing today? What's good? What's good, man? What's good? We got great news today. Great news today. Great news today. Travis Rudolph not guilty. We've been going over this trial all week, man. We've been keeping our ears to the street, trying to see if we're going to get some real justice, man. And finally, it seemed like some real justice happened, man. It seemed like some real justice happened. We didn't have to see the system fail another black man. Salute Joshua Hawkins. Salute Steady Grinding. Chocolate Candy Lady. Sneaker Peek. 40 the Splitter in your area. Salute Deron B. Salute Callie Kane. Miss Yolanda. Teran. Salute. Yucky the Snowman. Salute is deeper. Justin N. Salute. So y'all, let's just get a good feel real quick. Let's get a good feel real quick. Let's listen to the verdict.
Okay, the verdict is in the Travis Rudolph trial. Let's get you into the courtroom and see what the jury has decided.
In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit, Criminal Division, in and for Palm Beach County, Florida. Case number 21 CF 002938 A and B, Division W, State of Florida versus Travis Rudolph. Defendant, verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 2, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 3, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 4, we find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, the 7th day of June, 2023, in West Palm Beach, County, Florida.
Would either side like to have the jury polled? All right, thank you.
Salute to the man for being found not guilty of all charges. Not guilty of all charges. I told y'all, man, in Florida, if a whole bunch of Florida people can look at you and say, hey, man, I had to shoot back. Salute to Ms. Marty Ma for that 1999. You know, if you're in Florida and you have to go to court for, you know, shooting at somebody, you probably got a good chance. If a person looking like they did something to you If a person got a gun or something like that, man, in Florida, you gonna get away. If this was New York, California, one of those liberal states, man, we would be talking about a whole different situation. It would be a whole different situation if we were talking about in one of those liberal states.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I, on behalf of everyone who is a participant in this trial, would like to thank you for your time and your consideration. I also wish to advise you of special privileges enjoyed by jurors. In the absence of a court order, no juror can be required to talk about the discussion that occurred in the jury room. Our judicial system relies on juries for consideration of difficult cases. We recognize that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affairs so long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. The lawyers and their representatives are not permitted to initiate any communication with you about the trial. However, you may speak to the lawyers or anyone else about the trial if you wish. In the absence of a court order, you have the right to refuse to speak with anyone. A request may come from those who are simply curious or from those who may seek to find fault with you. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. I will add that I know that there has been a great deal of publication about this case. You need to keep that in mind. It's very possible you will be contacted by individuals. So keep those rights in mind that I just read to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also now going to pass out to you letters identical to those which I've given your colleagues, the two alternate jurors whom I excused earlier in the afternoon, or I guess it was morning. I would encourage you, please, to take the time. It won't take you more than a minute or two, maybe 3 minutes, to fill out those questionnaires. I do, as I said before, I do take them very seriously. I look at them. I have made changes in the way in which I conduct jury trials and the manner in which I handle juries and jurors based on those responses to those questionnaires over time. So please take the time to fill those out and then throw them in the envelopes that have been pre-addressed and postage.
Yeah, it didn't take that long for them to come back. I mean, I thought it was going to take like a day or two because I thought it was going to be one or two hard heads in there that was going to be like, I think he's guilty. But I figured like it was going to be more people in there that was going to say he was not guilty and it was going to become a hung jury. But like I said, we're in Florida. We're going to have to look at this, at the makeup of the jury.
Paid for you. Thank you, ladies and
This man over here smiling all smiles, man. Salute to this lawyer over here, man.
gentlemen. Once again, I know it's been a long time, a long process, and I thank you very much for your time, consideration, and work. You are relieved.
Salute to that lawyer, man. He did a wonderful job. We're going to check out what the closing arguments was.
Wow, not guilty on all charges. Travis Rudolph. Wiping away tears as the jury's being let out of the courtroom. His heart is racing, undoubtedly, as he looks at these people as they leave, and he's just soaking it all in. Heard some reaction on one side of the courtroom, negative. And then,
I mean, besides the man getting drafted into the NFL, and I mean, I know this is an unfortunate situation, but this got to be one of the happiest days of this man's life outside of getting going to the NFL.
Testified in this case. She's in the gallery there, along with his brother, who also testified in the case. Let's go back in.
And this got to be a heart-filling moment for a mother. I mean, because here she is. She almost lost her son. She remembers the night. The night is traumatic to her. You know, this has to be a bittersweet moment.
Seems to me there are a couple of things we need to address, but I may be mistaken about that. So I'll turn first to Mr. Shiner. Is there anything I need to address so far as your client is concerned? Okay, well, that will be done. You will, of course, yeah. All right, that's already done, as a matter of fact. That's what I was thinking about. Let me talk to the state about that.
That man on house arrest, man. Free that man the long way. Free him right now. Take this goddamn shit off that man's leg right now.
Right. Okay, so he is not physically in custody of the sheriff's department. That would be a different procedure. Now that he is on in-house arrest, do you know how he is taken off the monitor? Okay.
Nah, fuck that. Y'all contact him. Come take that shit off that man's leg right now. Talking about he need to contact y'all and all that. Nah, man, come over there right now and take that bullshit off that man's leg. Let that man run outside right now.
Set up the in-house arrest with, and it would, I think it was trying to.
That'll teach you.
Judge, I've had in the past a situation happen in terms of what the deputies cut it off.
I will not do that. All right, but I will authorize you immediately. Get on your cell phone right now if you want and contact whomever it is that's responsible for that, and tell them that I have ordered that his.
Morning Ma, he was found not guilty of all charges. And right now, the judge is, the lawyer is trying to get him, you know, hey, let this man off of house arrest. And we about to, I think he about to say we're gonna sue also.
Honor to be removed. All right, anything else from either side? All right, very well.
So he has to file a motion to return all this man's property, including his gun, because now that gun can be returned back to the man. He can have his gun rights back.
Anything else?
Is all the evidence to be returned to the parties?
No. The evidence is going to be kept by the clerk's office until such time as a motion is filed, particularly with respect to firearms. All right? All right.
So you got to file a motion to get your firearms back, obviously. Salute peacefully. Salute Lola Bunny.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Stay calm, everyone. Stay calm. And more importantly, stay safe.
See, business is niggas on niggas. I don't think you're going to have no problem. If this was a white man and some white boys that was on trial, man, it would be a whole nother story, y'all. I ain't lying. If this was a white man on trial and those are some niggas on trial that did that, or if there was some white boys that did that and this was a nigga, we'll be talking about a whole different story, y'all. Yeah, I want to know if they're gonna try to, you know, pick up charges on them.
Travis Rudolph found not guilty on all charges. There you see him embracing his defense attorney, Mark Scheiner, who delivered a passion closing argument.
We're going to listen to that closing argument.
He's free to go. He's been on house arrest. The monitor, of course, will be pulled off. See the smiles. Tears earlier as soon as he found out that the jury found him not guilty on all charges. Travis Rudolph, who was a standout college football player at Florida State University and went on to play in the NFL, played a year for the New York Giants, was injured and was part of the Miami Dolphins organization for a while. And just before this incident took place, he had, after rehabbing after an injury, had an opportunity to play up in the Canadian Football League. But of course, his football career likely over, but his freedom has been restored. Watching along with us, trial attorney Michael Jaffer up in Detroit, and you'd see those smiles. Michael, you talked about that feeling that they are experiencing right now. Your reaction?
I mean, as an attorney who has defended people who are accused of crimes, I can't help but be a little jealous of his attorney right now, Mr. Scheiner, because he, you know, this is the proudest moment for a criminal defense attorney. He took a case all the way to a jury with difficult facts. Got lucky with having a great client who knew how to testify, and you know,
yeah, his client did him some justice, y'all. If you want a black man and you got a black man on trial, this is the black man you want to have. Clean cut, come from a steady family, you know, got a decent background, ain't no dirt in his background. He made it is. Salute Dubs. Nah, them bitch ass nigga ain't retaliating. One of them niggas got a bullet in his hip. That nigga praying to God every night. Them other niggas, they remember how those bullets felt passing by them like that. They don't want no smoke. Them boys ain't no gangsters.
Moralize a good defense, but you know, I mean, his attorney did a stellar job, and I
doubt if he get a chance to play ball again. I mean, he's 27. He's been sitting around, you know, he's been sitting around the house without no real workout. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I doubt if he gets to play, he'll probably be in a Canadian league or something. But yeah, I doubt if his football dreams. He just happy to be free.
Envy the pride he must feel right now. He knows the cameras are looking at his client being acquitted. His client is crying. This is a big deal. The jury came back very quick. It usually means that they're going to convict you or they're going to acquit you because they made a decision. But in this specific case, for them to come back this quick, to me, it looked clearly like an acquittal because there were lesser included charges and it would be very difficult.
Yeah, you got the XFL that might take him also.
And take a lot of time. If they were going to convict him of a lesser included charge, but acquit him of the big charge, it would have taken days of deliberation for them to decipher that. But for them to come back,
and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that they was going to take some days and they was going to try to drop the charge down to maybe it's like some kind of manslaughter or something like that. That's what I was expecting. But I'm glad they, you know, got rid of all the charges.
That quickly, it was pretty clear to all of us looking at the case that they were putting him on all charges because either they were going to take their time and acquit him of a lesser included charge, or they're going to not take their time and come back quickly and acquit him on all charges. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Now, he might be able to become some kind of coach or something like that. But he kind of said he not like a talker. He more of a, you know, kind of showing, you know, lead by example kind of dude. So those don't make like good coaches. He seemed kind of quiet, but I don't know. Hopefully the so though. I know he'll find his way. He could write a book right now and do himself some justice, or just do some interviews.
So at this point, you see the emotion from the defendant. He was crying. This thing meant a lot to him, of course.
I'm pretty sure though, it's gonna be some NFL players that's gonna toss his ass a bag, like, man, get yourself right, my guy.
So in his mind, when that jury foreman was speaking, whatever she said, either the rest of his life he was going to be talking to his family through a bulletproof glass in a jail and traveling around. It's not that you just go to jail. You go into a system, and in that system, they move you. You have no control. You have no freedom. You have no ability. You do not control your own destiny. They will wake you up one day at 6 a.m. and say, we're moving you from where you are now in North Carolina. We're moving you to Seattle, right? To a place that's cold and muggy and was built in the 50s. And like, he was looking.
Now, I think he's exaggerating right now. Only how he would have to do all that if he went to the feds. So he would have been in the state. So he would have stayed in the state of Florida. Right now, he's exaggerating a little bit. Salute the Cool League for that 10. Everybody turn up for this quality content, and that's for sure, y'all. And we're going to take a drink to that when y'all turn up for the quality content, man. Because we not only just talk about what's going on, we go into detail about what's going on. We ain't criticizing the people. We ain't talking shit about the people or whatever. Well, we talking shit about some of the people. But, you know, for the most part, we're just breaking it down. And even though we heard the verdict, I still want to go over the closing statements because it's important what was said that probably got this man off. And so I still want to go over the closing statements if y'all cool with that. But we're going to hear what he had to say, and we're going to hear this soon.
Looking at that. But when she spoke 5 seconds later, when she got to count 4, and they put it in the first 3, and then she put it in the last one, in his mind, I'm going home today with my family in Florida with palm trees.
Yeah, the state will move you in the opposite direction, but they ain't going to move you out of the state. That's the thing about it. Now, the feds, they'll move you all over the damn country. But the state, they're going to leave you in the state. Now, they might send you, if you from, say he from Palm Coast, he from Palm Bay, which is by Miami. They might send his ass all the way to Tallahassee. Now that they will do, but you know, they won't send you like he's saying to Seattle or some shit like that bullshit. That's only if you're in Fed.
I'm going to go out to eat, and this is all behind me. I'm protected by double jeopardy. You see the smile on his face. So this is a big moment for all of them.
Yeah, and he makes a point there. He's protected by, you know, any kind of like if he would have had a hung jury or a mistrial or something like that, they could have came back and retried him. Right now, they can't come back and retry him. That'll be double jeopardy. They can't cook up no new charges. They had him on the highest charges they can get. So right now, he's as free as a bird.
I think justice was done properly, and as an observer, you tip your hat to the defense.
And to your point earlier, it's difficult to take the stand if you're not telling the truth. But his conviction on that stand seemed effortless because he was recounting. And
they have a valid point right there. You won't see most people in a murder trial take their own defense. That's why you didn't see well, not even in a murder trial, just any kind of trial. That's why you didn't see Tory Lanez take the stand, because they can trap you up in so many ways. And your defense attorney is not going to tell you to take the stand if he feel like you might be lying. He's going to defend you either way, but if he feel like you might be lying, there's any possibility that you might be lying, he ain't even going to have you go there.
A story from his perspective that absolutely had that righteous truth behind it in his mind, and he delivered it in that fashion, despite the stakes. He got up and
right, fam. Salute to you, 702 Smooth. The system finally worked for one of us. Hey, I had high hopes, but I was like, man, the system don't work for us though. But to see that, you know, they didn't give him stand your ground, but they still gave him self-defense. And that was tricky, I ain't gonna lie. Because when old girl started hollering about, you wasn't in front of the car, you was behind the car, she had a point. But I get where he coming from too, because in the moment of time, it could seem like the car in front of you, and then it started moving. Yeah, it could be on the other side, but you didn't really realize that it done went in front of you. You just letting out because you seen the niggas with the gun. So luckily, there was some people in the jury that understood that factor, because the factor is, it's nighttime. We see what looked like guns in these guys' pockets, and then now you're back at a car situation where they're obviously jumping your brother. What's good, Lion Locks? They're obviously jumping your brother, and you know, if I believe the dudes had a gun, I can't see them little bitch ass niggas not pulling up and not having no gun. That's that nigga lifeline. He had a gun. I believe everybody in the jury knew that at least one of them guys had a gun, and it was proven that at least one of them had a gun. That's really all that you need. You think this man gonna have a gun, and I gotta look over there in the dark, and y'all niggas riding off, and y'all niggas already came here on the fuck shit, and I'm not gonna think that one of y'all might shoot off a shot? Yeah, he had a gun. My bad. It was one person that for sure had a gun, but the rest of them probably had a gun too. And they probably did point that gun, playing a dangerous game. If you're gonna point a gun, now they had ample opportunity to shoot these niggas. This nigga got a big ass AR-15, but he just holding that bitch and playing. Soon that nigga would have came outside with that bitch, I would have bust his ass like, nigga, hell nah, you ain't getting that bitch there off. Hell nah. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Just jury of 12, that he would do it all again. To me, that was the biggest one. At the end of the day, the last question, if you could do it again, would you? Even though he took a life, he answered yes, because he felt that his life and his brother's life and even his mother's were in danger at that moment. What a performance it was for him. And you mentioned it earlier, the perfect client to have, because that conviction is it, right? You can't lie on the stand. It just doesn't work.
Ted, not only do I agree with you, not only are you 100% correct in what you just said, but here's what I want people to understand. If there's a video or any evidence that shows that you shoot somebody while they retreat, we are taught in law school. This is not in the first year of law school. This is in the first semester, right? In the first semester of law school, they teach you about the retreat rule, right? So the minute if somebody runs up to you with a gun and they point it at you, and they shoot it at you, right? And then they start running away, and you grab your rifle and you shoot them as they're running away, you committed murder, right? That's if they shoot you. That's if they're shooting.
Yeah, that was the only thing that wasn't on his side, because it kind of seemed like they retreated. But at the same time, his brother was still down there. So he was still getting assaulted. He was still in immediate danger. And if what they said was true, which they couldn't prove it wasn't true, but they couldn't prove it was true, it just came down to what the jury think, that one of them niggas pointed a gun. The fact that they came here for drama, that ain't helped them out. And the fact that that girl, old girl, didn't help out not one bit.
And they run away, right? In this case, these people were not shooting at him. They were running away. They were in their car. They were leaving. There was a metal barrier between him and them, and he still shot them and killed them. So had he not testified, this man was getting convicted of the top charge. He was getting convicted, no questions. It was only his testimony and his sincerity in his testimony that has led to his acquittal.
I can agree to that, because without seeing him and letting him talk for himself, it probably would have been a lot of questions in your head. But he came up there and he gave a nice church boy image, plus his mother, she was coming from Bible study and all this, you know what I mean? He lost his father tragically. Like, he ain't in no gang life or nothing like that. He ain't trying to act hard. He ain't been in no trouble. Clean cut, it's your perfect nigga. Shit.
It was extreme. It was a black letter divide between getting acquitted and not acquitted. This was the dramatic moment. Him testifying, he got himself acquitted, and he's going to relive this for the rest of his life. He's going to have nightmares about that, being on that stand, because we see him, the camera's fixated on him. We see a wall behind him, but that's not what he sees. He sees cameras. He sees his attorney. He sees the menacing prosecutor ready to savage him on cross-examination, because he was testifying in his own defense. So his attorney came first. He knew that the prosecutor was going to come up and get under his skin. He was seeing the family of the victims. He was seeing his family. He was seeing cameras, right? And he did it, and he withstood it. He did it spectacularly. He saved his own life. It was extreme.
What an afternoon. Travis Rudolph, not guilty on all charges. He's a free man tonight, and he is going home, and he will be home with his family.
Now let's get let's see what he had to say. My bad, y'all. Okay, let's get a little press conference. Let's see what he had to say. I'm pretty sure he felt real good about the situation. Salute, knowledge, power. I see you.
Thank the court. Thank everyone that was involved in this, man, because it means a lot for the support with everyone.
What do you think of the fact that they came back with a verdict in just 3 or 4 hours?
I mean, I just felt like it was right. You know what I'm saying? I knew all along, you know what I'm saying, that I did what I had to do to just protect me and my brother's life. So.
Also, before I interrupt you, I just want to tell you it's been a team effort with Ms. Perlette, who couldn't be here today. And also, this is Ralph Morrison. He's a private investigator, former law enforcement officer and Marine. And Ralph is behind the scenes in many cases. And without him, we couldn't have done this.
This has been a momentous day for you. What's next for you in your lifetime?
What's next? I'm definitely going to celebrate with my family, get back to trying to play football and everything. And just a walking testimony that, without these two guys, Heidi, my team, my foundation, I wouldn't be here today. Stay strong.
Right now that you're officially acquitted, can you walk us through what the past years were like, knowing that you didn't do anything wrong?
Oh man, it's just a lot of tears were shed, man. Overwhelming tears. You know what I'm saying? Long nights, sleepless nights, everything. So that's what the last 2 years has been for me.
Do you feel like you want to pursue a case against any of the other players that play? And what happened?
Well, I'm not going to let Travis answer that at this point. He's just going to enjoy his freedom now, and we'll look at all options later on.
What's the future of your football career? What are your plans there?
I'm gonna reach out to my agent, and God's willing, I'll still be able to play football. So definitely planning on getting back to football.
CFL or NFL?
Yeah, anyone, just an opportunity. I love the game. So
you're not out of your prime yet?
No, still, I'm just actually reaching my prime.
Were you nervous when we didn't know what was going to happen here? I know you and your family were out in the hallway praying. Tell us why that was an important thing for you.
Of course, I mean, it's just the fact of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like your life is in 12 jurors' hands. That's a scary feeling. So definitely was nervous, and we definitely pray a lot. We have unwavering faith. So that's what prepares us.
Travis had faith from day one. He never, even the day he was arrested, he told me how innocent he was and how he didn't do anything on purpose. And he's never varied from his story. He's the first client in 35 years who had the exact same version from day one till he testified. And he's been totally confident, more than any of us actually, that the truth was going to come out, and his belief in God helped him get through this.
You have your mom, your dad, your brother, so many of your loved ones are out here. Tell us about their support right now. How do you feel?
It's a lot of support, man. I love my mom. I'm a mama's boy. I know she can finally probably sleep more. You know what I'm saying? And then my brother, thank God for my brother, man. He's a hero as well. It's not just me.
Mom, how do you feel? You want to have a few words, Mom?
The only thing I say is thank you, God. Thank you for just making this day happen. And I love you.
Now that's that mama's cooking. That's that real shit. That's that love. His brother back there, you know what I'm saying? His brother had his back. This family probably is closer right now than ever. And they tragically lost, their father. But, this is a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's sad that it had to go through this, because this probably cost them so much emotional, financial, it had to be extremely hard.
What would you say to the jury? Anything you want to say to the
I
jury?
really appreciate the jury. They made the right decision, and God bless them all. And I appreciate them for taking out the time to actually listen to the truth come out.
What does not just verdict on not one, but all 4 counts mean? What kind of message does that send?
Well, life, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I was tough on the lead officer. It's nothing personal. She really did arrest this man without the right information. And we hope it's a learning experience. That's what life's about. And hopefully she gets her cases done differently next time, and she learns some from this, and the sheriff learns from this, because there's many mistakes made. And if those mistakes weren't made and this case was done properly, we may not be here. But we are here. So let's take this as a learning experience, and we have no hard feelings towards anyone, and we wish everyone the best. And everyone lost in this case. No matter what the verdict is, we're all losers as a community. But we're happy that the truth came out.
How was Travis lost?
He lost 2 years of his life. 2 years of playing football, 2 years of...
What? Did this motherfucker say what this Travis lost in this? Man, he acting like this man ain't have to go sit in that jail cell. He acting like this man ain't have to spend all this money on goddamn lawyers and shit. Did y'all hear that dumbass question? Somebody slapped that fool. Wow. What has Travis lost in this? Wow. Just wow.
Roman free, 2 years of hugging his family, 2 years of having a possible life. What the verdict is. Let's take this as a learning experience. Many mistakes made, and if those mistakes weren't made and this case was done properly, we may not be here. But we are here. So let's take this as a learning experience, and we have no hard feelings towards anyone, and we wish everyone the best. And everyone lost in this case, no matter what the verdict is, we're all losers as a community. But we're happy that the truth came out.
How was Travis lost?
He lost 2 years of his life, 2 years of playing football, 2 years of Roman free, 2 years of hugging his family, 2 years of having a possible life sentence hanging over his head, having to pay for lawyers, having to suffer sleepless nights and worrying about this case. He's lost immensely that he'll never get back, but at least he can start his life over. Today he's being reborn.
Is there a message like to the other families, the other parties that are involved?
Well, everyone should be responsible for their own actions.
Man, everybody got to be. Hey, he said it before I could say it, but he quick on his feet. I ain't gonna lie. He quick on his feet because he like everybody responsible for their own action. I was just about to say that. I was about to say, hey man, you know, you got to teach your sons, hey, all this, that's my brother shit. And you go and pull up about another nigga's sister and all that, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, you got to be a leader. You can't be a follower. That's what I teach my son. And hopefully he never get into a situation like this following behind some other idiots. So we definitely got to let this be a learning lesson to us also, you know, as we're watching on. Because that could have, like, any one of those young boys could have been one of our young boys. I have a 22, well, my son's going on 22, but I have a 21-year-old son. And he's not an only child because he has a younger sister, but he's still, you know, he doesn't have any brothers. So, you know, in this generation, if you have an only child, they're quick to link up with other fellas and start, you know, saying, hey, this my brother, this my brother, this my brother, you know, just good friends from high school. So you got to be careful with that, you know, just because you can't tell your kids that, hey, man, you know, your friends ain't going to be the same in 20 years because they thinking, you know, they don't have siblings, so they will adopt these brothers. And all it takes is one of those brothers to make a bad decision and then have all of those brothers in a fucked up position. See, because that one guy, that girl's brother, her real blood brother, he's gotten one guy killed. And I'm saying to him, but her too equally as well. But he didn't have to do what she said. Got one of his friends killed. Got another one of his friends shot where he's going to be living different for the rest of his life. And the other friend's just traumatized. He's traumatized. And they all could possibly be charged with something where they can all go to prison instead of college. And it seemed like all of them are trying to go to college. But their college hopes are about to go out the window for prison stripes if justice is really served.
Right or wrong, we should all be responsible for what we do. And the jury spoke loud and clear that these men are responsible for the death of their friend. And maybe the state attorney's office will look a little differently next time, or even now at this case, as to who the real perpetrators were. But we can't change that.
Uh-oh. He throwing that hint out there, y'all. Oh, shit. It might go down.
Well, I'm sorry for their loss, obviously. It's sad that anyone died, but responsibility is the most important thing. That's why I've been doing this on both sides for so long. And as a defense lawyer, because I believe in responsibility and the truth. And the truth came out today.
This verdict was unanimous, right? They had you all 12 agree on the same thing?
All agreed, yes, sir.
Could he have faced multiple life sentences or one life sentence?
Oh, he was facing the first degree murder was life in prison without parole. The attempted murders were a minimum of 25 years to life. So he would have died in prison. The opposite verdict, you would not ever see this man again, a free man. This verdict, he's now a free man.
He could have potentially gotten 4 life sentences.
Basically, yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, is that right?
Now that's something to think about. Either you could have died that night, or you could have been facing 4 life sentences. He just threaded a needle. This man just threaded a needle that, you know, is unheard of damn near. Almost losing your life. Him and his brother right here. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he innocent. Found not guilty on all charges. Now this is what I'm talking about right here. 2 brothers and a mother. RIP to their father, but he would have been there every step of the way. He probably would have been on the front line. You think those little niggas, man, those little niggas wouldn't have stood a chance if Pops was alive. If Pops was alive, man, it would have been 3 on 4. Man, Pops would have had nothing. Probably took one of them niggas' guns. He probably would have knocked 2 of them little niggas out, man. Shit, I can imagine if Pops, cause they in good shape. So you know Pops had to be in good shape, y'all. Man, please. But they held the fort down. They held the fort. I think somebody gonna sign him just because of his story. I think somebody gonna sign him just for the, you know, the headline. It's a good story. You know how a lot of these teams clout chasers. Everybody, you know, giving their hugs and love, you know, which very well deserved. That's amazing, y'all. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, y'all, I want to see what this closing argument was. Let's review what the closing argument was that, you know, that made them, you know, choose what they chose. Before I do that, though, I'm going to show what they were showing during the verdict. I don't know if they were going back to show this to the jury, but they were showing this during the verdict. So let me show this. It's more footage of what was going on.
If they can see better that way, then that's fine with me. A glare? Yeah. Okay, so come on down then.
I think the jury wanted to see this footage over because they were showing this during the verdict. While they was waiting on the verdict, I think the jury came back and asked, can we see this video again?
Okay, anybody that is okay looking over the plexiglass is fine to do that as well. But don't block one another's view. We've got some people are taller than others. All right, perfect.
Yeah, this was definitely for the jury. So the jury came back and they wanted to see this footage, y'all.
All right, Mr. Clausy, whenever everyone is ready, go ahead and play.
And then just for record purposes, this is State's Exhibit 32. It's the 3 videos.
Thank you.
Okay, so this hub pulling up is daytime. This earlier that day. So, okay, I know this suit because I had a friend that got some surgery and they had to wear this suit. This is the suit to hold all your, you know, when you just get a surgery, this holds all your shit in place. It's like a onesie. So that's what she got on. She ain't even supposed to be out the house, y'all. She thirsty. She ain't even supposed to be out the bed, y'all. This girl is risking busting all her stitches. And she probably did with all that bullshit. See, yeah, y'all see it?
Okay.
It's a onesie. Yeah, I mean, this is a jacket, but I'm saying this brown little suit that's up under, that's a onesie. That's the thing that like it's the little suit that holds your newly surgically, repaired body together or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about her jacket. Yeah, what's going on?
Is that the same equipment we were using for the trial, or is that from a different courtroom? Okay.
That ain't the same footage, then. Hold up. Okay, here you go. Yeah, y'all see how it's a onesie? It looked like a skirt, but it's really a onesie. And that's why she tying this jacket up and all that. She want her shit to be tight as possible.
Okay.
You say I broke it down better than the lead attorney. Shit, the lead attorney probably ain't been around nobody that had surgery. Oh, man. See, she getting frustrated because she out here waiting and shit. Y'all know how certain female they ain't got no motherfucking patience. It's called aphasia. I hope I said that right. It's called aphasia. Is that aphasia? But salute the chocolate candy lady for breaking that down. I'm gonna call it aphasia. God damn, they taking a photo of every time. Faha. Okay, the faha. Y'all see Florida be having some weird ass doors, man. Do y'all notice they got a door that open this way out, that opens out? That's weird as fuck. I've had doors like that though. But I know to people from other places, y'all don't find that a little weird? Your front door opening out. That's some Florida shit, man. That's some Florida shit. That's just like wooden panels, I guess. You know what? I think she thought he was about to hit her when he lifted up his hand. Right here. I think that triggered her. I think that triggered her. Right here. I think that triggered her. She thought in her head, I think she thought she hit him. Or he tried to hit her, or he just tried to, play in her face. Say my gate door open out. Yeah, it do seem smarter to have it that way. Nobody can't kick your door in, shit. That be way harder to kick in when you got that bitch that open out. Way harder to break in too. Now she did have him out of his body right now. He was doing the most. But at this point, I get it.
I want to talk right now. I want to talk right now. Fuck y'all. I'm so wet, bro. Go do what you do, bro. Go do what you do, bro. You in your feelings.
Wow. Shit was up. I guess they want to see all this. I mean, I think they are gonna come with charges on them people. I don't see why they wouldn't, unless they gave them some type of immunity for testifying. I don't see why they can't bring charges on them. They're just showing every single thing that happened, I guess. Oh, here get them niggas. Now look at this nigga. Like, come on, bro. You coming knocking on my door like that? Like, nigga, you ain't the police. And then when I would have seen you on my camera like that, oh man. This is some reckless behavior, y'all. That nigga bust his ass, boy. I guess they just going through all the videos. And nigga mama coming back.
That's the conclusion of the ring videos, Judge.
Okay. You got the other, what exhibit are the
Okay. Oh, okay. They got a little bit more. Hold on. I think they got the
individual exhibits for the body cam? I can't remember. Okay.
Body cam.
4015 rolling. Hey, step back from me. Step back from me. Okay. Come back.
This the body cam footage of the police.
Yes, sir. Hey. Step back now. I'm so close. Yeah. What's that? I don't know, bro. Yeah. Taber, or Delmate, right? Yes, Delmate is 54 o'clock. What's the phone number, man? 412? Huh? 412? 297? 1020. All right, dude. You got say northern? No. Oh, Lakeport. Okay. I don't know if we're still not sure on all of that yet. I don't know what Travis Rudolph is our big. Okay, that's how you guys believe it. I'm just like, this is some fucking move. Alright, there, man. Just make sure you're not hit, you're not hurt. Only thing, we just shout out, look at you, check you out. Make sure you're not hit, then you know, adrenaline and stuff. I'm good. I start. I need your name, boss. I need Christopher. All right, Christopher, stay here, man. Stay here. I understand. I pray this shit. And I'm not close enough, man. I'll be shot at. All right. Okay, walk with me. Okay, I know how serious that shit is. I know how serious that shit is, okay? So, so this is high. Christopher Lowe, right? Yes. L-O-W-E? Yeah. What's your man?
Well, that nigga ain't waste no time trying to tell the police, I've been shot at, I've been shot at, I've been shot at. He didn't tell the folks that you went over there. What's good, Michael W? He didn't tell them folks he went over there.
Right? Hey, what you did, bro?
February 13th, 2000. Can I just check on my life? That's it. I just did that. That's it.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Hey, what's your phone number?
561 377 8266.
8266?
Yes.
All right. What's your address, boss?
5045 Home Hill Drive.
Home Hill Drive?
Yeah.
What's that?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach?
All right, so that's just a little bit of the what the jury wanted to see again, and that was when they talked to one of the young men right after the when they pulled him over. So let's go to a little bit of the crosses. I mean the closing arguments, because like the commentator said at the end, the closing arguments was what really closed the deal. So I definitely want to breeze over the closing arguments. Now, do y'all want to hear the prosecution? Because we got to know the bullshit they're gonna try to pull or whatever. Let me see how long the prosecution shit gonna be. The prosecution 5:14. Yeah, we'll do the prosecution second, man. Cause they shit about an hour long. I'd rather see what the defense said that closed the case. So y'all notice that they had the defense, a lot of times he had an assistant doing most of the work or whatever, as far as like asking questions. Remember when the white lady was asking all the questions, she came in with the opening argument, and then during the kind of the back and forth, he would go up there, she would go up there, and she was pretty good. Like we can't overlook the job that she did in the opening argument, because she set the tone. But let's see how he closed it. I'm always intrigued by good, lawyering and, trials and everything. Even though I understand that these are people, real lives, but it's always intriguing to, to watch the craft.
Counsel, but got to talk to you about the facts of the case. Yeah. Great argument by opposing counsel, but got to talk to you about the facts of the case, about what the witnesses said, about Detective Vandal and her lack of investigation.
Salute to Michael W for the 5. Keep moving and grooving, growing your platform, brother Earz. Yes, sir, and that's exactly what we're doing. We up to 2350, I believe, and Weapon Patrol is at 1,000 subscribers. I have to make some fresh content for Weapon Patrol. I'll be doing uploads on Weapon Patrol. So Earz to the streets, we doing our thing always. I appreciate you, Michael W. Yeah, that white lady did a great job cross-examining Dominique, because she got her all in her feelings, boy. See, he probably would have been good at it, but she did a great job, boy. She like what she did. Tell us about the shit. Tell us about the shit. To explain to the jurors what is the shit. Yeah. What is the shit? Tell us about the shit. Yeah, she was here. So we definitely got to make sure she get her due diligence, man. He's gonna get the credit or whatever, but she definitely did her thing.
Investigation. I didn't know any better. I was watching an episode of The Sopranos. Just the names changed. Somebody disrespected a mobster's daughter, and they went to go whack him. They go kill him. That's what this case really is. Not just a video that shows you what it shows you. Of course it doesn't lie, but it doesn't show you the whole story. At the moment of truth, you can't see who's in that car and what they're doing or not doing. You'll never know. It's impossible. State can argue all they want. They weren't there. Shameful that you didn't get to see the real evidence in this case. It's a shame that nobody cared. Thank God he had lawyers that cared, that asked questions, wanted to know the truth. 10-minute interview by Detective Vandelin. 10 minutes for two people who are key witnesses and never go back to talk to them again. That defies logic. See, the two reasons for that: total incompetence, or she knew if she asked more questions, she'd have a problem. These guys were lying. Her incompetence would show. Either way, it shows. Either way.
Now, that's the part that we didn't go over. Of course, this was a long trial that they had, I think, 22 witnesses, and we didn't go over all the witnesses. But her testimony, the testimony of the lead detective, there was a lot of, negligence by the lead detective. And it wouldn't even went this far if they would have did their due diligence. And and that's what he's referring to right now.
It's ridiculous. This is not Sherlock Holmes. This is Barney Fife. I'm sorry if I'm using old terms from shows and maybe RFD, but this is crazy. Palm Beach County, one of the most wealthiest counties in America. A 10-minute interview, ask him what happened. And that's fair? That's fair to Mr. Rudolph? Arresting him at 3 o'clock in the morning with 2 10-minute interviews and shell casings and not give a damn about what really happened? Is that fair? How did he get away with that? How? How do you not search the photo? You saw the photos. I'm going to show them to you again. You saw this. You've all been paying attention. We appreciate your sacrifice. We know it's brutal sitting there day after day listening to this. You saw the photographs. You heard the testimony. There's a food truck behind the gas station or the car shop. They don't even know if it's working or open or not. No one even bothered going back to check. Why didn't anyone check? Tons of officers from West Palm. They're at her disposal. She's the producer of this case. If this was a movie, you'd probably walk out in the middle of it or change the channel, but you can't. This is real life.
Right.
This is what she's giving you. There's not one mention from the state about Vandelin. Of course not. She's an embarrassment to the shield. She shouldn't even be a cop. It's ridiculous, this investigation.
Damn, he's shitting on the cop? Damn. He's shitting on that detective, boy. I don't blame him, though. We talking about somebody's life on the line. You ain't do no investigating.
Investigation. And gives you questions that you're going to have for the rest of this case. You'll never know. No one will know what really happened. It's impossible to tell. Why can't you look behind a fence? It takes 3 seconds. Why? Why can't you get a ladder and look on a roof? I had no evidence there. I don't look for anything unless I know it's there. It's the most absurd statement I ever heard. Been doing this a long time. A first-year cop right out of the academy would know you look for things. How do you know it's there if you don't look? She sounded like someone running for office that didn't know what she was talking about with all this, the totality of the circumstances. The investigation begins as soon as the arrest is made. What investigation was done afterwards? Nothing. You asked her everything she did afterwards. Zero. Took her a year and a half to get medical records. Why are they showing you all these photographs? Tyler Robinson's injuries. We told you he did it. There's no question he did it. They're not asking for sympathy, but they're showing you photos. Horrible photos. They could have showed you an anatomical chart, but instead the medical examiner comes in and painstakingly shows you every single wound, every single trajectory, which was right to left, by the way. None was from the back. I even asked him, I turned my back. I said, sir, any shots come from the back? And he finally said, no. They're all right to left. Why are they showing you all this? But they don't take.
That is an interesting perspective, y'all. And we missed that also. The medical examiner. And, you know, that is a big thing because the trajectory of where the bullet went means a lot. So if the bullet entered his right and went out his left, that means that he was hanging out the window. He was not, you know, ducking for cover or whatever. And that means he was, you know, doing what they say he was doing. How many had a gun, but possibly.
Take a single picture of my client, of Mr. Travis Rudolph, of his brother? What's going on here? Most absurd statement. She needs a warrant. That's ridiculous. You don't need a warrant to take a picture of another human being in public. It's absolutely false. It's a lie, along with many other lies. Can't check a database. The gun expert.
What's good, my boss? What's good, Helena?
Detectives check the databases all the time. Everything she said was false. Just about. It's ridiculous. This is not a shoplifting case. Even if it was, the person accused of shoplifting deserves a fair trial. She did absolutely nothing to give you all an ability to really know what happened. And that's not fair. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to the decedent's family. Most of all, it's not fair to you all. That's not the way we try cases in America.
You're damn right. That ain't the way we should be anyway. That's the way they doing it. But think about if this man didn't have the type of lawyer that he had that can do all this digging and investigating. Think about if he was stuck with a public defender and this thing was handled this sloppily. See, he's fortunate to be able to have a paid lawyer that has a team that can do this type of investigation. But the basic public defender, you think they would have did this type of digging? The average Joe, you think I would have got this break? Even though it could have been the same situation, somebody come in and interrupt my day, have one of my loved ones or whatever, and I try to defend my loved one, it wouldn't have worked for just any old nigga. But, you know, everything has to line up when you're a nigga.
Thank God we have this Constitution where the police are checked. Because some police do a good job. And other police officers, as you've seen in this case, I'm not blaming all the cops. Most of the cops just did what they were told. But this lady was the captain of the show. And she didn't give a damn for whatever reason. Either she wanted to convict him and get a notch on her belt because she's a new cop. Oh, I got a celebrity. I got a former NFL player. I'm not going to give the jury any evidence to show I was wrong. Come on. This isn't Russia. It's not fair. It's not fair to anyone. Most of all, it's not fair to you all because you didn't see. How would it hurt if someone went back even? Even if you buy the excuse, well, I didn't look behind the fence because I had no evidence of guns. She ignored the hand. You don't need a doctor to tell you that. That's common sense.
Yeah, like I said, I think she sabotaged it because it was juicier to have him than to have just, you know, 3 thugs that got shot at. You know, it was juicier to have him. I mean, it's easier to say, hey, somebody that died right here. We want to get justice for the person that died. And if these guys say they got shot at and they left out all the important details, you know, I can see how for a while it can get buried. You know, a lot of shit can get buried.
Man could have been holding a gun. Why do I have to bring it up? That's her job. The crime scene people told you that they saw that and they said it could have been a gun. The lead detective is either completely stupid or a complete liar, or both. Why didn't she even look at that? Why? and make a big deal over we had to hire an expert. Of course we did. Police don't work for me. I can't call up 50 cops who've been to all these homicide scenes and start telling them to do this, do that, do this, start collecting evidence. I can't get out there and start bringing down the crime scene tape and we talked about this in jury selection, and start looking for evidence that this cop didn't do. That's not my job. I'd get arrested. We'll talk about who should have been arrested in this case. The wrong people are sitting at this table. Dominique Jones, Tyler Robinson, Keyshawn Jones, and Chris Lowe should be sitting there for the death of their friend. They got the wrong person.
And that's a fact. Like I said, just like if you rob a bank or something like that and one of your friends died during the robbery, you're going to get charged with the death of your friend. They came over there for a situation and one of their friends ended up dying because they came over there in an aggressive manner.
They got the wrong person because nobody cared. And all they're going to do is show you that tape and play it 1,000 times so you hear the gunshots over and over and over. I heard thousands of gunshots in this case because I heard that tape over and over and over. It's 39. It is what it is. All in complete succession. You have no idea. The state has no idea. I have no idea what Travis Rudolph was facing that day. He didn't start this. Let's talk about the witnesses. I have a stack of notes. This is half of my notes from this trial, from these witnesses.
Damn.
And that's why we have you all there, because your memory is going to be better than mine. But I have stacks of notes on what these people said and the absurdity of their statements. So the way they acted, the way they disrespected us, made fun, made believe they didn't understand the questions over and over. And we'll talk about what happened down before Mr. Rudolph started shooting. Their own witnesses, whether you believe them or not, but their own witnesses, Keyshawn Jones didn't say anything about that, but Tyler Robinson did, that Sebastian was fighting. And more importantly, Chris Lowe, I painstakingly went through it with him, that he said that Sebastian was fighting not too far from the car with Darryl Rudolph. I had a reason for asking that because I know what the state was going to argue. There's no reason for this. None of this happened. He's an aggressor. He's a violent murderer. Is that what this evidence shows? Did he come out of his house? He probably should have came out with a gun. Maybe they would have ran away, these tough guys who cased out the place first, but he didn't. That's reasonable. That shows his character. You saw him on the stand. The most mild-mannered person. Shocking. He didn't even get upset when the prosecutors are accusing him of horrible things. He's still mild-mannered. So let's talk about what happened. And let's keep in mind what this case comes down to, like I told you in jury selection. There's no who did it. Question is, can they prove they made the charges? A rubber stamp vandalism investigation and didn't give a damn, didn't question Miss Rudolph, never did to this day. They could have sent her a subpoena, didn't care because they didn't want to hear anything contradictory. Then asked Darryl Rudolph to come on in and tell the story. You expect those two people to trust the police after they arrest their son and brother with no evidence? They knew what happened. Call a lawyer.
They was hoping he was going to cop a plea. That's what they was hoping.
Don't go down there unless you make sure everything's on tape. Cops can lie to you. You heard that. Vandalin said that. She has a right to lie to people except about their rights. She could put a tape on, put a tape off. But why in your right mind would you go down there when they falsely arrest your son and your brother without protection to make sure the truth comes out? All they had to do was subpoena him. Oh, I've only done that 10 times in my career. You've done nothing in your career. The 2 or 3 cases you had. In this case, it was abominable. It's horrible.
So he had a new detective on his case. That's the worst shit
guys for about an hour and a half asking you the question. Every single one of you. There's even interruptions about this. Every single one of you I asked. If you remember, let's go back to jury selection a couple of weeks ago, but I know you won't forget because I was annoying. Asking you these questions. What do y'all do if I prove beyond all reasonable doubt, no question, that my client was acting in self-defense. And everyone said he's not guilty. Now you see why. Then you see the law and you understand it a little better. It's very confusing. It's a very complicated issue on justifiable use of deadly force. And then I said to you, what if the state proves he definitely was not acting in self-defense? No chance, no way. Beyond all reasonable doubt. Y'all said he'd be guilty. And then every single one of you, I asked the question, what do you do if you can't tell? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he could have been, possibly not. And y'all said he'd be not guilty. Every single one of you. We maintain he was acting in self-defense. He is a hero to his mom and his brother. But there may be some unanswered questions. Why? Because no one searched. No one searched the path. It's his life.
Right. It's very hard to say he acted in self-defense if you didn't even check the, if you didn't even look. You didn't even ask the man.
Life worth a car drive down the path just to look. Anything thrown out of the car? The next day they knew there was a gun. They knew it that night, actually. That morning, they heard the guy with the dog, McMichael, Agent McMichael. Thank God for Agent McMichael. Thank God. Because you wouldn't even know Tyler had a gun because he lied to the police. I'm hurt. I'm injured. I can't do this. It's not what the paramedic said. I'm not saying the guy wasn't injured. Of course he was. He was sitting upright. He had all his faculties about him. He never mentioned to the police he had a gun. And he goes to the hospital. You think these trained detectives are going to question somebody when they're under anesthesia or medication that they don't know what they're talking about? Of course not. He doesn't even tell the next officer there was a gun. And his two friends lied. That 10-minute interview, which is absurd, never went back again because she didn't want anything to hurt her case. But now the truth's starting to come out. Y'all saw it a little bit.
Truth starting to come out.
A glimpse of what she did or didn't do. That 10-minute interview, neither one of us had guns. Nobody in our car had guns. That's what they said. Is that true? Is that the evidence in this case? And you heard from Tyler Robinson, who's actually a multi-time perjurer who's never been charged for saying, I didn't remember in a hearing under oath in front of this court. And they give him a free ride for that too. A free ride for lying over and over and over just so they can protect Detective Vandalin and win this case. Is that fair? You come into a courtroom and lie over and over and over and over and over, and I don't remember. You come to a deposition and say, I don't really remember, because Vandalin tells you, she tells Tyler that she had video, and he thought there was video, so he was afraid to say what happened. A couple months after this happened, he still was under the belief that the video's working. Vandalin told him, he said. And in June, when he gave his deposition, he couldn't really remember what happened at the door. And then he comes in here today. A couple days ago, he remembers everything. He had to be arrested to get here last time in November. That's putting pressure on a witness to get him to say what you want him to say, to join our team. That's the power they have. It's scary.
Yeah, that is scary. Because if he wasn't even going to come in unless y'all arrested him, hell nah. And you ain't charging them with nothing. Y'all just wanted them to be the witnesses in your case just to cover up for your lack of police work. Oh man. There's a cover up here, y'all.
You saw the blue line here. You saw most of these cops sticking together. Ms. Perlette shows the one cop from West Palm Beach, the picture with the pockets. Ms. Perlette walks up to the detective from West Palm Beach and shows him the picture with the guys with the pocket. Is that consistent with a gun? He looks at them. He doesn't want to answer. And he says, yeah, it was. It does look like a gun. I don't know if he had guns or not. I'm not an expert. It's not my job to know that. It's not your job to figure it out. It's their job. Why don't they even ask the questions? 5 months later, she said, I never thought about it until you raised it. They don't care.
What?
They had a lawyer that was asleep at the wheel. You won't even be asked to even consider anything like that. So those pictures. These guys came armed. They lied. More importantly, Tyler Robinson, another lie when he comes in here. Until I get his deposition out, his prior statement. Remember that Sebastian was urging you in front of your friends to bring the gun, your gun? Remember that, sir? No, I didn't show him the deposition. Now he's stuck.
Nice.
Prior under oath statement that he testified to. Yeah, well, that did happen. Sebastian was urging me to bring the gun in front of my two friends, Keyshawn and.
Now you gonna tell me somebody urging you to bring a gun and you were like, nah, I'ma just leave it here. Man, y'all niggas know damn well all y'all had y'all gun.
Chris Lowe. They all heard it. They're right there. Why are they lying to the cop? You heard Keyshawn's a smart guy. Going to school. Wants to be a doctor or something. Go to honors college. He knows what he's got to say. He's not going to say his friends had guns and pointed guns or pulled out a gun. He'll be in prison. Of course he's not going to say that on the 911 call.
And we all know that nigga, nah, he gonna be somebody's bitch. Only one that Mike can survive is I don't know, the little weird one Mike can survive. Now the one that got shot, he might survive. He seemed like he might get mind his business.
Not stupid. They all lied about not having guns. Why are they lying about it? Common sense tell you that 4 guys go to somebody's house at midnight to talk? Are you taking your shirt off, Mr. Robinson? It's hot out. Come on. Lie after lie after lie. It's ridiculous.
Is that why you taking your shirt off? It's hot out. Get the fuck out of here. You know damn well you come to goddamn fight and shit.
Check the Vandalin. Does that mean anything to you? I don't even know whose black shirt it is, she said. Never even checked the DNA. What do you do if somebody doesn't remember Detective Vandalin or they come into courtroom and lie and says, that wasn't my gun? Now you'll never even hear that. You'll just find that there's a gun found, but you won't even know who said it was theirs because the person said they can't remember. Take the DNA, check it out. Y'all got your own lab. Why don't you do it? I don't mean to be funny, but DNA in this case means do not ask. Do not ask what the results are of anything in this case.
Do not ask.
Do not ask questions from anybody. Ask a few basic questions. That's it. Is that fair? Is that fair? You decide that. Does that give you information? Is there a lack of evidence? Is there a conflict in the evidence? A reasonable doubt can come from the evidence itself, a lack of evidence, or a conflict. Why didn't anyone check the roofs or behind the fence or the path? How hard is that? There's hundreds and hundreds of cops around who can do this. No one asked me to do it. No one asked me to do it. No one asked me to do it. That was every single witness's statement. And Vandalin's excuse was, I had no evidence there'd be a gun. Well, you did. You found out that night there was an extra gun. And you knew it wasn't Travis Rudolph's.
Oh, shit. I was going to kind of take up for it, and I was going to say, you know, it's kind of hard to know that or think that there might have been a gun in that path. But if they knew that night, if they had some suspicion, yeah, they should at least caught his check this path.
Something should tip you off there's another gun. Go back to 40th and 30th, Broadway rather, and go check now that you found the gun. Nobody asked me to do it. She didn't want to know. She didn't want you all to know. She made the arrest and she wants it to stick. She writes the report, the probable cause. She's the saleswoman who can write whatever she wants and arrest somebody. How scary is that? She can ignore everything she wants and put in whatever she wants and charge somebody with murder. That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
2023, that's the way this thing works.
That is scary. That's very scary.
But that's not the end of it. Because as she admitted, she has to have probable cause, even if she puts BS in her report. And I'm sorry I used the word BS when I questioned her. It's the first time I've ever done that in my life. So I was so flabbergasted at her testimony that she can come in here and double talk and triple talk and tell you, I need a warrant for this, I need a warrant for that. It's nonsense. It's an excuse to not do your job. It's foolishness. I wouldn't trust that lady if she's giving me a parking ticket. I would double check to make sure she knows what she's doing.
Well,
My
damn.
meter was expired. I go check my meter. Thinks she's wrong. That lady don't give a damn about anything in this case other than getting a conviction and not letting you see the whole truth. And that's not fair. They can play those videos all they want. I challenge them to play them 1,000 more times. Press the spot shotter another 1,000 times. You can hear those shots over and over and over. You can't see what happened in the final moments when two guys pointed a gun. She wasn't there. She doesn't know. I don't know either. But what's reasonable? Why would he lie about a gun? He forgets a gun in his pocket? Tyler forgets a gun in his pocket. Who forgets a gun in your pocket? Why'd you bring a gun? I wanted to be a man. That's what he said. I was riding shotgun. Well, he was riding handgun, but yeah, he was riding shotgun. He wanted to be a man.
Hey, he said he was riding handgun. Hey, he wanted to be a man. Why'd you bring the gun? He had to admit he had that gun. They found that gun, but he ain't admitted at the gate. So that already brought suspicion right there. Said that nigga was riding handgun.
Be a man. Is that what a man does? These guys aren't kids. They use the term boys over and over, and that's not fair either. They're not boys. These are men. He forgot he had a gun. Sorry, excuse me.
Forgot he had a gun.
He didn't forget he had a phone. You want my phone to break? I left it in the car.
Salute, Shades B.
Why is Keyshawn lying and telling y'all that his friend Sebastian brought his gun? Brought his phone. Saw the pictures with the pocket. Now he knows the whole case. He saw the discovery like they're saying my client did. He sees everything.
Yeah, so he's saying that that's his phone in his pocket, but the other dude, he didn't know that. The other dude said that he put his phone in the car.
Sustained.
This guy knows what's going on. He's told everything and shown everything. He knows what's happening. It's common sense. Why is he saying he has his phone with him? Because he knows y'all are going to see pictures or saw pictures with that pointy thing in there. That Vandalin says, no way, that's a gun. At one point, I even think she said, when I was showing you the picture, you got to be crazy or something like that to think that's a gun. Well, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy on that point. It's possible that was a gun. It's a good chance it was a gun. You remember Dominique telling you that her phone messages wouldn't have mattered? Didn't happen. She got away with it, basically. Keyshawn told you the same thing, where he parked wouldn't have mattered. A lot of things wouldn't have mattered. They got caught. These are smart kids. These are smart young people. These are smart adults, whatever word you want to use. They fooled the cop, or she bought into their nonsense, didn't ask any more.
I ain't gonna say they smart kids. These some dumbass adults. The system is fucked up.
Questions. I hate to say it, but she's a dummy. Vandalin, she didn't care.
Damn,
10-minute
He
interviews.
called the cop a dummy.
I didn't arrest, and I'm being facetious. What Vandalin said, she was sitting right there. 5 hours. He deserved 50 hours. I stopped because it was getting late and tired. I'm sure y'all had enough. Could have went over and double or triple that. I didn't arrest Dominique because on the 15th she told me that she erased messages. Yeah, she told her that day because she knew Keyshawn signed the consent and now the gig is up. Now they're going to find out. She forgot she probably sent it to Tyler. And plus, the months it took them to download everything, and who knows what they were doing or what she was requesting. Miscommunication between me and the other officer who does the phone. Miscommunication. She had the password from Tyler Robinson. Why is she hiding that? Because I'm asking over and over for it. Takes 2 years to do it? That fair? She was trying to get away with not doing that too. Miscommunication. It's ridiculous. Things that went on here. It's not fair. It's not showing you the truth. It's not letting you even get to even close to being the truth. A good investigator, whether they did it that night or later on, will go back to the 40th and Broadway. Take a look. Take an hour, half hour. Put a drone up there. The sheriff's office got everything. Millions and millions of dollars. Taxpayers' money. Thousands of police officers working for them. West Palm would help. Not a single person looked. Then you would know. Did they dump it there? Did they not dump anything? Can't tell you. You'll never know. Did they come back and get what they threw out? Why didn't Tyler shoot back over and over? He'd shoot back. Probably forgot to put a bullet in the head, in the chamber. You can't shoot a gun. That was some of the testimony from the expert, unless there's a bullet in the chamber. You know, some of y'all know shoot guns. You all know this.
Salute 421 TV.
If you try to pull the trigger, nothing's going to happen. My client wouldn't know that if someone's pointing a gun at him. That's the testimony. The gun was found without a bullet in the chamber. He pulls it out. Maybe he took the bullet out and threw it away. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. So many unanswered questions here.
So many.
It's not Travis Rudolph's fault there's unanswered questions. The government took the job of prosecuting him and saying he's guilty, so they have to prove it. And y'all agreed to well and truly try the case against the state of Florida versus Travis Rudolph. Why didn't they treat their witnesses like they treated mine? Why did I have to get up there and start vigorously cross-examining them, arguing and fighting with these people?
Right. They was giving them some old softball questions. Now, every now and then, it seemed like they was lining their ass up for some future prosecution, but for the most part, it was like they was trying to, just kind of distract.
So I was exhausted. Ms. Perlette was exhausted fighting with them. Is that fair? They represent the people of the state of Florida. Not winning at all cost. It's not winning at all. Nobody wins in this case. Everybody lost. There should be more people on trial in this case, not my client. And that'll never happen because nobody cares. Your decision is to decide whether or not Mr. Rudolph is guilty based on the evidence. That's it. No one's going to ask you, did Vandalin do a good job? Did anyone commit perjury? Did anyone tamper with evidence, a 30-year felony? Anyone carrying a concealed firearm, Tyler, in his pocket, never get charged? Is this what we're about?
Boy, he's snitching.
Is this the court system that you get a free ride? I'm a homicide detective. I don't worry about those things. Is that really fair? 30-year felony, a 5-year felony, multiple other felonies? Forget about conspiracy to commit murder. Terroristic threats that you're sending to your brother and your brother sending back to you. Who knows what these people were saying to each other? We can't hear their phone calls. Who knows what she erased? The calls, the text. How come they don't take the phone from her that day? Why not? What's going on here? Dominique Jones is like Hurricane Andrew. I hate to use this silly analogy, but she is. Almost 31 years ago, Hurricane Andrew hit down in Miami and Homestead. And yeah, we saw the hurricane coming. I don't know if y'all lived in Florida back then, but people who lived here knew it was coming, but nobody thought it was going to hit that bad, and it wasn't that strong. No one took it for real. Like Mr. Rudolph didn't take it for real. Hindsight's 20/20. He should have. He should have. No one in his family did. No one wanted to believe it from the girl they loved. A mom treated her like a daughter. And Keyshawn and Tyler and Sebastian and Chris, they joined this hurricane. They were little tornadoes in there and joined it. Easy to prove the cases against them, all the things they did, but they're not on trial. I'm just talking about it because they get a free ride for everything they did. All in the effort to convict Mr. Rudolph and not let you really know the truth about what happened here by not looking for evidence, by not testing evidence, by not questioning people properly.
That is a shame, though. They put all this effort into trying to convict this man to the point where they're going to let all these people off knowing that they committed crime. That shit fucked up.
And the hurricane hit his house, and he didn't see it coming. He's guilty of not being smart with women. Whether he was cheating on his girlfriend or not, no one deserves to get whacked or beat up by 4 guys. Even 1 guy. It's not fair. It's not their business. It's like a Sopranos episode. You go get your family, your brothers, and go whack somebody, go beat them up, or kill them. Not fair. Is that what... Are these innocent guys, are they heroes? That's what you call a hero? People that go thugs? 4 guys? And where I'm from, you call them hoodlums. 1 guy's a vigilante. You bring 4 guys, it's a gang. Or a posse, as the state used that word. Posse. Whatever word you want to use. That's scary stuff. Detective Vandalin. Anyone ever come to your house at midnight with 4 guys? Thank God, no. She said that. Probably the only truthful thing she said, because she didn't realize why I was asking it. Ask multiple officers, if someone's pointing a gun at you, can you tell it's loaded? No. You're going to shoot until you neutralize the force, until it's over. And they're trained. Yeah, I'm going to shoot.
Right.
I'm not waiting to get shot first.
Now, that's a great point. Because if y'all, as officers, would have saw those same guys, and a cop would have said that one of the guys had a gun, it wouldn't have been no question about it. Especially if you find a gun in one of the guys' path.
It's common sense. If you see someone pointing a gun at you, you don't wait to get shot. You don't turn your back and run home like the state would want you to do.
Or like that dude that had a gun and he ran and threw the gun instead of shooting back. He must have had no bullet.
Prosecute them for shooting my client anyway, because they got a free ride. Be a dead man and be funerals, and you read a little obituary, that'd be the end of it. You never know. Thank God he's here. Said he would do it again. God forbid he was put in the same situation. It's better to be tried by a jury than tried by these thugs. It's better, safer, be alive. He lost 2 years of his life waiting for this. Prosecutor says, oh, Mr. Sebastian's poor family. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. They have nothing to do with this case. It's horrible that a mother lost a son. When you find out the circumstances, it's also horrible that Mrs. Rudolph was terrorized by the gang of people that came there. This poor lady already lost her husband. She's so worried about security, she has a screen that I personally have never seen a screen in somebody's home, in their living room. She can't sleep at night, scared to death. And the state wants to beat her over and over and over by asking the same question. Why don't you call 911? I couldn't, I was terrified. It's a miracle this woman's even standing. It's a miracle.
Right.
I'm not asking you to have sympathy for her, just trying to talk about the facts of this case. The real story about what happened and why she had all those cameras. She thought they were recording.
Right, right.
Police have that. I don't.
They done took all her cameras and all that, but they were so desperate to get her in the Dulo twist.
Have their video recorder. They're telling you it didn't work.
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But according to them, it didn't. Hopefully they're being straight about that. They got Mr. Nash's videos that really don't show you any details. And you can also see the oil slick. The car went forward first. It clearly did. Take a look at these pictures. You'll see it. How in the world with this evidence and not testing anything and not questioning people properly, why didn't Detective Van go and talk to Tyler Robinson's brother and friend that were at the house to find out what these guys were talking about? He knew about that. Never even went there. It's silly, ridiculous already. Why not even attempt to do anything?
What's good, D. Wash?
That is the most absurd statement I've ever heard in a courtroom. I've heard hundreds of people lie in a courtroom, but I've never heard a cop say that.
All right, sustain.
Never heard somebody say that. Ever.
What's good, Cash Money?
I don't search unless I know it's there. They didn't arrest Dominique because she admitted she did tamper with evidence, a 30-year felony potentially. Well, if somebody walks in and says they committed murder, or attempted murder, or aggravated assault, and they confess to it, they're going to jail. Not this girl. I think she's working with them.
She gotta be. She had to get some kind of immunity deal or something. But they charge her, boy, she done had 2 years. She should have got her money up, and you should have a lawyer ready.
Trying to prove that they're telling the truth instead of being cold and neutral like she claims she is. Our investigation starts when the arrest is made. That's baloney. It didn't happen. Never started. Put the handcuffs on him. You got all those shots. He's got to be guilty. I don't want to hear from his mom. I don't want to hear from anybody different than what I already did. I did enough. I did a good investigation. She told you that. She really believes that, or she's lying again. She knows she didn't do a good investigation. She can't even admit she made a single mistake. Not one mistake. I made plenty of mistakes during this trial. I'm not the best speaker. I made mistakes in questioning people, and I apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. You're right. That answer, you're right. We're all human. The law on justifiable use or threatened use of deadly force in Florida, we'll talk about that in a second, but the burden of proof, and this is a long instruction, comes down to what the state has to prove is Travis Rudolph does not have the burden. This is on page 10 of your instructions. Travis does not have the burden of proving he was justified. It's not his job to do that. It's not my job to do that. And you all agreed to this in jury selection, and this is the law that you all agreed to follow. This is on the second paragraph down, indented paragraph, where it starts with Travis Rudolph does not have the burden of proving he was justified in using or threatening to use deadly force. You don't even get the first-degree murder. You don't get to aggravated assault. You don't get to any of the lessers if he was justified in using self-defense, or you don't know beyond a reasonable doubt that he was justified. Then you don't even go to the instructions on murder, second-degree murder, attempted murder, because it's a defense to every single one of those charges, justifiable use of deadly force. Told you from opening statement, Travis Rudolph did kill Sebastian Jean Jacques and did wound Tyler Robinson and did shoot at the other men. It's no secret. The question is why. So he doesn't have to prove. Travis doesn't have to prove, or the defense doesn't have to prove, doesn't have the burden of proving he was justified in using or threatening to use deadly force. Instead, for you to find the defendant guilty, which is Travis Rudolph, the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was not justified in using or threatening to use deadly force.
Nah, that's interesting. That's interesting because you have to look at it like that. I mean, well, I know according to how a lot of court cases end up turning out, that's not the case. It seems like you're guilty until you're proven innocent. But that's supposed to be how it's supposed to be. You know, like they got to prove that you wasn't justified, and they didn't do a good job of proving that he wasn't justified by having these guys come up here. You can see them on camera. Now, the only part that they did have a little slight little to it is when they were saying, hey, when it was kind of showing that they passed by him, you know, like, oh, didn't you start shooting after they passed by you? Now, that was kind of sticky. But if you believe that these guys possibly had guns and they possibly pointed it at him, you can feel like he was justified to start shooting. And I think most of the people in that jury, they probably like, nigga, shit, we would have been on your side if you'd have killed all them niggas. But it would have been fucked up if he would have killed all of them because it would have been that much harder to beat. Salute, just being me. It's good to see you in the area. We almost wrapping this up. We're just finishing up the closing arguments from the defense. Oh, he got a little bit more to go. He got a good bit more to go.
Just like we talked in jury selection. It really boils down to this. That's why I wasted so much time. But it really wasn't a waste, as you can see now. Because this is the heart of the question. There's no way no way any reasonable person at this point could say, with this evidence, beyond all reasonable doubt, he was definitely not using self-defense. There's no way anybody can say that in this case. Why? You don't have all the evidence. You have nothing other than a couple of videos which show what they show. And you hear the gunshots. There's never been in dispute. Ever. It's not in dispute. But you can't see who's holding a gun and who's not holding a gun. You don't even know if Tyler Robinson was in the car. You heard the bullets ricocheted all around the car. Little pellets come out, and according to the medical examiner, they break up. You don't even know what was in his body.
See, I think the best thing that he did is what his mother did at the gate, and that was not make a statement. So the lawyer was able to, you know, carry a narrative however he wanted to, because there was never a statement from the beginning. They didn't have nothing to go off of. That's probably why they made it so hard for him and not really do a thorough investigation, because he didn't play easy ball with them.
He didn't show that to you. You don't know where he got shot. There's no blood in the back seat. How's that possible if he's laying on his friend, which is the first time he ever made that statement, as you heard in this courtroom? Slow says he wasn't even sure he got in the car. You can't tell from that video. I remember some cross-examination of Travis Rudolph yesterday where the prosecutor's showing him a videotape saying there's one guy already in the car. That's ridiculous. The guy was pressing the button to open up the door, so of course the lights go on. You can't see who got in which door. Vandalyn may have to over and over and over. She's the lead detective. Who got in what door? I didn't understand what she said. Double talk. Couldn't tell you. Physical evidence doesn't tell you. You see, and I don't know if you saw it in this courtroom, but you do see Tyler Robinson going like this. He doesn't fall down. Go and check the DNA. How do you know it wasn't Travis's DNA anywhere? How do you know it wasn't Mr. Rudolph, Tyler Rudolph's DNA anywhere? Whose DNA's on that car? How did it get there? Some of the people, Detective Vandalyn, didn't even remember there was blood on the outside of the car, but the crime scene people did, but no one checked it. Not important. Do not ask. You found out that Keyshawn texted his sister first. The Travis is a dead man walking. He wants you to believe, well, I did it to satisfy her, make her feel better. He did it. He said it was in response. That's not even true. He texted her first. Travis is a dead man walking. Is this a person who's going to go over and talk to somebody with his 4 best friends, buddies? They all carry guns. Why is Chris Lowe trying?
And who's saying some shit like that? That's some corny ass 1990 shit. Like, that nigga was dying to use that pistol. He thought it was easier than it was.
According to him, not this day. But why is he checking his friend Keyshawn's gun in his pocket to see how it fits? Who carries guns in pockets? It's foolish. It's dangerous.
Right. Who
Some
carries?
gangsters do this. Guns in pockets. He said he tried it on. Well, he didn't try it on, but he put the gun in his pocket to see how it fit. Before this case. What's the purpose of that? You get glimpses of these people. Glimpses of what's going on. You'll never get the full story because they're using all kind of social media calling where there's no tracking. FaceTime, there's no tracking. You can't hear or see what they're saying. You look up online, you'll see this. It's easy to figure out. These young people know what's going on today. I don't even understand what Travis is talking about the dating stuff. About girlfriend, not girlfriend. I don't understand these terms. When I was younger, you're dating someone, you're going steady. Today, the terms are completely different. But either way, you could tell this is a battered man. He really is. His neighbor saw it. He's always getting hit, and he stands there like this. He had no clue that someone didn't have a right to hit him. That's sad. He really didn't know. He's a mild-mannered guy. You saw it. If I'm up there and someone's accusing me of stuff, I'll be fighting back. He doesn't even yell. Doesn't raise his voice. He's calm. That's who Travis Rudolph is. I'm not asking you to find him guilty or not guilty because he's a football player, but certainly that's important. This girl was looking for a payday. I'm a realtor. Ms. Perlette, have you sold anything? Is what she asked. I rented one apartment. COVID, I had nothing. I pay for everything. I'm a self-supporting woman. Then when she got pressed, but my mom is a medical assistant.
Hey, he called out the same shit I called out. You talking about you got this, you independent, you this and that. And then you like, how you ain't make no money? It's during the pandemic. Well, my mom is a medical assistant. A medical assistant? You acting like she a motherfucking doctor or something. You grown. But you take care of everything on your own. Girl, stop the cap. You gotta be selling some pussy. Yeah, stop the cap. Salute, Third Eye.
That's a self-supporting woman. This is a woman who's a gold digger. Who's hoping Travis gets back in the NFL. She took advantage of him. He was too dumb to see it. Like most men.
Damn, he got
not thinking with his right head.
Dumb.
I hate to say that, but that's the truth. She's a gold digger. Plastic surgery. You already got a boyfriend. Need plastic surgery? I'm mad. The last 30 days I haven't seen him. I'm getting angry. I don't trust him. He's in Miami. Trying to get back into the, he had a contract to play in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, the following month after this happened. Hoping to get back in the NFL, where he has many friends, as you heard, who are major players. Didn't bring their names out here to impress anyone. Didn't even mention one of their names. That's the reason why he carries a gun also. It's around wealthy people who are targets. It's not a joke. It's a dangerous community we live in. Dangerous country, unfortunately.
Then she probably couldn't wait to get around some of them homeboys. Oh, man. He probably wasn't going to take her around none of the fellas. I'd say she's just a hometown jump off.
None of those guns are illegal that he has. They're perfectly legal. You heard that from the testimony over and over. The drum of 100 sounds crazy, but that's legal. You can have 100 of them. You can have 50 of them, I asked the witnesses. Nothing illegal. He's trained. He has a concealed weapons permit. He's worried about security for his mom. She's worried about security. He's worried about security for himself and his friends. That's the truth. That's what's going on here. You got a glimpse of it. A glimpse. Not just like the prosecutor wanted you in jury selection talking about, well, if there's a flag over here, it's got to be an American flag. You don't need to open it or anything like that. And then I gave you the silly example. What if a court administrator said, well, we had no money from COVID, we're buying flags from China, and they put little symbols on there. And that was a trial. You really want to know the truth. If someone's on trial for anything, or flags on trial, you want to unfold it. Why would you put blinders on like they do? Remember watching the Kentucky Derby recently? Some of the horses have blinders. They can't see the other horses because they don't want them to get off track. They want them to just go straight. Who has blinders on in this case? Who has the blinders on? Starts with the producer of this investigation, Detective Vanderlyn. And hopefully it ends here in this courtroom.
But he on her ass.
Well, how do you prove right now? How does the state prove to you? No matter how many times they show you those videos and play those gunshots and show you the autopsy photos and show you Tyler Robinson's injuries. And forget about all the witnesses. No one mentioned them to you. No one mentioned. You heard. I'm not even going to go through all this. This will take me an hour or two. About all the nonsense that these people said and how they acted. You saw the defense witnesses. Did anyone act like that? Anyone playing games? I don't understand the question. Anyone prior to commit perjury and say I didn't remember? It's ridiculous. You saw that. You heard it. We trust all of you. That's why we put you all here together. That you use your common sense. That's something you should consider, how the witnesses acted.
Boy, he calling out all that shit because all them niggas came up there and talking about they don't remember this, they don't remember that. They, man, please. Oh, no, he definitely ain't had no gun. That's the only thing they ain't remember. I mean, that's the only thing they remember. He definitely ain't had no gun. He definitely ain't had no gun. Only thing they remember.
How they answer questions. Those are things that are important for you as jurors, and we all talked about that in jury selection too. How do you judge if someone's telling you the truth? Ask you all that question. How do you know it's being straight? What they gave a prior inconsistent statement? You got to be shocked to learn that someone lied over and over at a hearing and in front of the same judge in a courtroom saying, I don't remember a thing. Maybe he doesn't want to get arrested again, so now he's on the team. The first responding officer, the guy wearing the mask. Y'all remember him? Probably the most credible I don't even know the right word, the most credible independent witness there is in this case. And he's wearing a mask. You can't even see his face or his eyes to judge his credibility, but you don't need to because you heard the intensity. I'm not going to say his name because you know why he's wearing the mask, but Officer P. You saw the intensity of how he was trying to save the guy. And he was so hyped up by saying, I was reliving the moment as he was talking. I'm sure you were too. But I felt my own pulse possibly. I was trying to make sure he was alive. That guy cared.
Yeah.
He cared. That's what we needed on this case to find out more about what happened or how it happened, where it happened, when it happened, who did what, who said what. Go back and question people. But he said something very important besides trying to save this young man's life. You remember what he said? He said basically that as he drove by going northbound, he didn't see the car. Then he made a U-turn because he knew it was at 40th and Broadway. He passed by again and sees a reflection of his lights on I forgot the words, some like figures in the background. Who weren't waving him down. Put that in his report. He testified to. He found that very unusual. What are they out of the car? What are they doing by the fence area? And not until he goes in there and says, y'all need police help. And it's, oh, my friend shot. He said, if it was me, I'd be out there jumping up and down. Hey, come get me. That's what he said. He was animated. That should tip off Detective Vanderlyn. There's something amiss here.
Now, we didn't get to catch that part, but that is interesting that, you know, when the police passed by, they weren't quick to wave the police down. And that's what the police testified to. We haven't seen that testimony.
Your first officer there. This guy's acting weird. What's going on? What are they doing there at the gate? Why not check? I think you know the answer by now. It's not winning at all costs. Everyone lost there. Everyone. No matter what your verdict is. But maybe something will come out, something positive. Maybe next time they'll do a better investigation. Maybe next time they'll arrest the right people. Maybe Vanderlyn will get demoted and sent back to the academy. Do her job properly. Hopefully something good comes out of this.
Hopefully there is no.
When you weigh the evidence, one of the things you use is your common sense. Y'all have a lot more.
Hopefully there is no next time. But y'all, we'll stop it right there. You know, there's probably about another 30 minutes of this, but we know the results, man. Congratulations to Travis Rudolph. It sucks that we have to learn about this man in this kind of way, but you know, sometimes it be like that, man. Life kicks you in the ass or whatever. But this was a test of his strength. You know, he got a praying mother, and you know, he got really put to the test. I hope this brother bounced back in all the greatest ways. Justice was kind of served, but you know, it really wasn't, because if this detective is still allowed to move the way she moved in this situation, it's always gonna come back and it's gonna hurt somebody else. This could have been somebody that couldn't afford a lawyer, and this guy would have been off for the rest of his life in prison. So, man, it's still a sad story at the end of the day, because that woman who and not just her, because it got to be people that's over her that just did not put pressure on her to stay on her job. But it is what it is. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to all my mods. Salute to Just Being Me. Y'all make sure y'all go sub up. Salute to Deron B TV. Y'all go sub up. Third Eye TV. Y'all go sub up. Salute to Halima, Cash Money, D Wash, Cali Kane, Morning Mo. Everybody, man, much love to everybody. I'm gonna get up out of here. No telling, I might come back on the late night live and bullshit around with y'all, but for the most part, we out for the night. I'll see y'all on the next live. Y'all have a peaceful night. And salute to the brother Travis Randolph one more time for, you know, beating the case. And unfortunately, the young man had to lose his life, but you know, I do believe it was either his or theirs, because I believe them dudes might have would have built up enough nerve to finally squeeze that trigger, and no telling what could have happened by, you know, one of them squeezing that trigger. So I get it, man. Don't pull out no gun if you ain't ready to shoot it, and if you think that, I mean, if you're not ready for the consequences that come behind it. And unfortunately, a young man had to lose his life. And another man had to take a couple of bullets to the hip. But we got to learn from other people's mistakes, man. Watch your kids, watch your sons. Let them know. All that brother shit going along with other people on these dummy missions. Hey, be aware of that. But y'all have a good one. I'm out.
I'm always 10 toes down, winter to the summer. Head coach of my team, I'm like a trap Tony Dungeon. My swag go ham, y'all swag so baloney. You looking for a fight, well bitch, I'm ready for a rumble. I'm one of niggas, I am not the one that I'm the humble. I'm known to let them cage rip, teach a nigga about that thunder. Hold up, little daddy, if they call me, you on my time. No need for discussion, I ain't rushing, let me serve mine. Already flying, like my whip done grew wings on it. Got that solid D like 3 NFL teams on me. Heater on me like the middle of December. Finna find a low number and G grind all winter. I'm cooking dinners and I ain't talking about soul food. And get your mans to holler, serve who, bitch, I don't know you. Street smart, you know I study these streets, but get real ignorant when I'm fucking over niggas' beats. We athletes fuck around and get rolled over. Miami Heat to push a front line like a bulldozer. Yeah, nigga, respect me, call me shit. Playing what you chillin', my heart like a igloo. My game Gensu, I go and pull a Carmen Diaz. Some big shit, homeboy like an elephant ass. yeah. And I'm the gas in your auto. And I don't need luck, you rub the wood on the palo. You think about competing, make it hard for you to swallow. My amigo like hey pasta, you can get it when you're out. Your lady up and yada by the way she bust it open. Got me feeling like the man. I leave that pussy smoking. A nigga coasting, pockets on cruise control and GA.